Welcome to Vital Blueprint. In modern preventative medicine, we are witnessing a pandemic of metabolic rigidity. Most individuals have lost the physiological ability to transition efficiently between energy substrates, specifically the switch from glucose oxidation to lipid oxidation. This state, known as metabolic inflexibility, is not just a weight management issue. It is a fundamental failure of mitochondrial adaptation. When your cells are locked into glucose metabolism, you experience systemic inflammation, chronic energy fluctuations, and an accelerated rate of cellular senescence. Today, we define the blueprint for reclaiming your metabolic autonomy. Now, let's look at the molecular level. At the molecular level, this process is governed by the Randle Cycle, a metabolic interrelationship where the presence of one fuel source inhibits the oxidation of the other. In a healthy subject, high levels of acetyl-CoA from fat oxidation should naturally downregulate glucose utilization during periods of low intensity. However, chronic hyperinsulinemia disrupts this delicate signaling. By analyzing the respiratory exchange ratio, or RER, we can measure this flexibility. Our objective is to optimize mitochondrial biogenesis and enhance the sensitivity of enzymatic pathways, ensuring your body can access stored adipose tissue even in the presence of moderate exogenous carbohydrates. To restore this flexibility, we implement a two-pronged clinical protocol. First, Zone 2 cardiorespiratory training. This intensity specifically targets the mitochondrial matrix to maximize fat oxidation rates. Second, strategic macronutrient partitioning and intermittent metabolic windows. Managing these variables requires high-fidelity data. I recommend utilizing the Vital Blueprint app. It allows you to log these physiological markers and track your substrate transition over time. Metabolic flexibility is the ultimate biomarker of biological resilience. By training your system to switch substrates, you are not just optimizing performance. You are fortifying your long-term health span. Join our evidence-based community within the Vital Blueprint app to participate in challenges designed to implement this protocol. Subscribe for our next clinical deep dive. Stay objective, stay data-driven. To understand why metabolic flexibility is the cornerstone of longevity, we must examine the Randle Cycle, a fundamental biochemical competition between glucose and fatty acids for oxidative priority. In a metabolically healthy state, your mitochondria should transition seamlessly. When carbohydrate availability is low, the body increases fatty acid oxidation. This produces high levels of acetyl-CoA, which naturally inhibits the key enzymes responsible for glucose breakdown. However, in the presence of chronic hyperinsulinemia, driven by constant glycemic spikes, this switch becomes rusted. The body remains locked in glucose oxidation, even when energy demands are low. This leads to mitochondrial overload, where the electron transport chain becomes congested, leaking reactive oxygen species that damage your cellular DNA. By measuring your respiratory exchange ratio, or RER, we can quantify this transition. Our goal is to enhance the expression of CPT1, the gatekeeper enzyme that allows long-chain fatty acids to enter the mitochondrial matrix for fuel. This is the physiological definition of metabolic freedom. Stay data-driven. Reclaiming metabolic flexibility is not a passive process. It requires a structured clinical intervention to retrain your mitochondrial machinery. We achieve this through a three-tiered protocol focused on biogenesis, signaling, and data-driven monitoring. Tier 1, the Zone 2 Foundation. The primary driver of mitochondrial density is type 1 muscle fiber recruitment. By maintaining a heart rate where lactate production matches lactate clearance, typically 60 to 70% of your maximum, you force the mitochondria to prioritize fatty acid oxidation. This intensity maximizes the expression of PGC1 alpha, the master regulator of mitochondrial biogenesis. Without this aerobic base, your cells remain lazy, preferring the rapid but inefficient fermentative pathway of glucose. Tier 2, glycemic flattening and macronutrient sequencing. To lower systemic insulin and allow the Randle cycle to shift, we must manage postprandial excursions. Clinical data suggests that the order of ingestion, consuming fibrous greens and lipids prior to complex carbohydrates, can reduce the glucose spike by up to 30%. This prevents the insulin lock that traps fatty acids inside your adipose tissue, allowing your body to access stored fuel during sedentary periods. Tier 3, the strategic fasting window. Utilizing a compressed feeding window of 8 to 10 hours facilitates a period of low insulin signaling. This triggers autophagy and upregulates the enzymes responsible for lipid transport. It is during these fasted hours that your metabolic flexibility is truly tested and refined. Implementing these protocols without precise feedback is merely guesswork. This is why the Vital Blueprint app is an essential component of the protocol. By logging your fasted glucose, postprandial responses, and zone 2 heart rate variability, the app provides a centralized dashboard for your metabolic health. It translates these complex physiological markers into a clear blue point of your progress, ensuring your interventions are yielding the documented clinical results we aim for. Monitoring your data is the only way to ensure your cellular metabolism is truly trending toward long-term longevity. Monitoring your data is the only way to ensure your cellular metabolism is truly trending toward long-term longevity. Stay objective. Stay data-driven. In summary, the transition from metabolic rigidity to flexibility is far more than a simple lifestyle adjustment. It represents a fundamental recalibration of your biological architecture. By systematically implementing Zone 2 cardiorespiratory training, mastering your macronutrient sequencing, and respecting metabolic windows, you are doing more than just optimizing fat oxidation. You are actively reducing the systemic oxidative stress and the accumulation of advanced glycation end products that drive the aging process at a cellular level. True health, as we define it here at Vital Blueprint, is the presence of biological resilience. It is the ability of your mitochondria to pivot seamlessly between substrates without triggering an inflammatory cascade or a hormonal crisis. The evidence we have reviewed today confirms that you have the agency to move from a state of metabolic lock-in to a state of high-performance autonomy. This is the path to expanding not just your lifespan, but your health span. If you are committed to this level of scientific inquiry and want to master your own physiology using peer-reviewed protocols, then you belong in this community. To ensure you never miss our clinical briefings, please subscribe to the Vital Blueprint account now. Staying updated with this data-driven approach is the only way to remain ahead of the curve in a world of superficial health trends. If this provided you with clarity, please like this video. Your engagement is vital. It signals to the algorithm that evidence-based medical content should be prioritized for viewers who value technical depth. Thank you for your time and your attention to these complex physiological mechanisms. We are dedicated to providing the technical framework you need for systemic optimization. Stay objective, stay data-driven. This is Vital Blueprint.